Hi guys, welcome to TechBased. In this video, we're gonna talk about a new big Windows 11 25H2 update. This time for the release preview channel, but as you all know, this update will come to the main release in about 1 or 2 weeks time. And this is basically the C release or the feature update for the month of February 2026 for Windows 11 25H2 and also for 24H2. But in this video, of course, we're only covering 25H2. We have quite a few new features and new interesting changes inside the Windows 11 operating system, which we're going to talk about in this video. And in today's video, we are talking about the build 26200.7918 or KB5077241. So as I've said, in this video, we're going to talk about everything. And if you enjoy videos like these, please don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBased channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. So let's begin with the video. First of all, a quick shout out to Phantom of Earth on Twitter or X.com for providing additional information about features that haven't been added to the release notes by Microsoft. So of course, if you want to be updated with all the latest features and hidden features from Windows 11, make sure to follow Phantom of Earth on Twitter or X.com from the pinned comment below. First of all, let me show you how to have the best chance of receiving all the new features. Make sure you open up the settings app, go to Windows Update, make sure and you enable get the latest updates as soon as they are available, then click on check for updates. This way, you should have the best chance of receiving all the latest features. But if you don't, of course, I'm going to make an updated video in which I'll show you how to enable all the new features manually if you didn't receive them yet. The great news is that we don't have any new AI features in this one, at least not announced in the release notes by Microsoft, but we only have features for normal computers. I'm really curious if this is part of Microsoft's change of plans of trying to balance the AI more in 2026, but of course that remains to be seen. So now let's begin with all the new features. First of all, Microsoft is announcing the Emoji 16.1 release, which introduces some new emojis, one for each major category. And here you have new emojis such as face with bags under eyes, fingerprint, root vegetable, leafless tree, harp, shovel, and splatter. You can find all of these inside the emoji panel. We also have a new backup and restore feature, and basically the first sign-in restore experience is now part of the Windows backup for organizations, bringing this restore capability to more device types. And this basically restores user settings and Microsoft Store apps automatically at first sign-in on Microsoft Entra hybrid joined devices, cloud PCs, and multi-user environments. And this helps create a consistent setup process during device refreshes, upgrades, or migrations. Related to the quick machine recovery that can be accessed through settings, system, and then if you scroll down to recovery and then quick machine recovery, you're going to notice that Microsoft now turns on quick machine recovery automatically for Windows professional devices that are not domain joined and are not enrolled in enterprise endpoint management. These devices receive these same recovery features available to Windows Home users, and for domain joined or enterprise managed devices, quick machine recovery stays off unless it is enabled by the organization. Now we have some new taskbar features or improvements. First of all, Microsoft is expanding the resume feature for the taskbar if you have it enabled. Basically, this allows you to continue your work from your Android phone. It now expands it for apps such as Samsung Internet or Microsoft 365 Copilot. So you're going to basically be able to continue your work from those apps directly inside Windows 11. Microsoft is also now adding a built-in network speed test button that is available right from the taskbar. So if you right-click on the network icon in the taskbar, you're going to see this new option, perform speed test. If you click on it, the Microsoft Edge browser will be opened up inside the Bing search engine. This is basically just a quick shortcut that allows you to run a quick speed test. It doesn't automatically start it. You're going to have to click on the start button if you want to start it, and this is how you can basically use it. I think this is maybe a useful feature for people that are not that tech inclined, but for the average user, I don't think this is necessarily a needed feature. If it was able to do a speed test directly in the operating system or let us select the default search engine, that would be better, I think, but it is still better than nothing to have this perform speed test button directly in the taskbar or the system tray. We also have a new taskbar improvement. So whenever your taskbar is set to uncombined, if you have an app open with many windows, they will no longer all move as a set to the overflow area when there is not enough space on the taskbar, and instead only the ones specifically within the set that don't have space. With this change, the overflow area should no longer appear to display with lots of available space. Inside the start menu, Microsoft is introducing a new entry point in the account menu that now directs you to the benefits page, the account.microsoft.com. This update makes it easier to explore and manage benefits associated with your Microsoft account. Also related to identity and access management, Windows now supports Microsoft Entra ID Group and Role SID resolution. This update enables Windows to translate Entra Cloud Group and Role security identifiers to readable names, allowing intra-only groups to be used and displayed correctly in file permissions, local group memberships, and access control scenarios without relying on on-premises or hybrid Active Directory identities. Inside camera settings, in settings, Bluetooth devices, and then cameras, if you have a supported camera, you can now control pan and tilt for the supported cameras, of course, in the settings app. I think that is also pretty useful. And for those of you who have a camera that supports pan and tilt, these new options could allow you to customize the camera settings even more directly in the Windows 11 operating system. Microsoft is also adding the built-in Sysmon, which allows you to capture system events that can help with threat detection, and then you can use the custom configuration files to filter the events you want to monitor. I think this is a pretty useful feature. You can read more about it on the official Microsoft blog post. But if you want to enable it, you're going to have to open up the settings app, then go into the system section, and then scroll down to optional features. We're going to click on optional features and then click on more Windows features, and the Windows feature section will open up, and then you can search for Sysmon. As you can see, it is here. You can enable it. This is one way of doing it, and then you click on OK, or you can just open up the search box, type in here PowerShell, and then one PowerShell Asset Administrator. On user account control, of course, click on yes, and here just copy and paste in the following command. Run it, and as you can see, it's going to enable the Sysmon feature. And then to complete the installation, just copy and paste in the following command, which will install Sysmon. As you can see, it is really simple. All these things will be in the article below or on the official Microsoft blog post if you want to do it. Also, if you've already installed Sysmon from the website, you must uninstall it before enabling the built-in Sysmon that is available inside Windows 11. Also, Microsoft now is adding a new feature that will enable the new widget settings board to be full screen. So if you open up the widgets board and then open up the settings, you're going to notice that it's going to be opened up in the full screen section directly inside the widgets board. So I think that is pretty nice. It also has this nice little animation whenever you're opening it. So I think this is pretty cool. Microsoft is also updating the icon for the search process in Task Manager to now show a magnifying glass. I think that is also pretty nice. Also related to storage settings, inside this section here, disks and volumes, for example, Microsoft updated some of the dialogs here to have a more modern design. For example, whenever you're trying to create a dev drive, as you can see, this has been updated. Or for whenever you're trying to create a VHD, you're going to see that certain dialogs will now match the Windows 11 design principles alongside with other small things from this section. Of course, they still have to update, for example, the properties section, which still looks like the Windows 10 one, but I think they will do it in the coming updates. And they also improved the performance for scanning temporary files whenever you're using Storage Sense as an example. We also have some new updates in this new build or update for Windows 11 25H2. First of all, if you want to get all the new updates, you're going to have to open up the Microsoft Store, then go into the download section in the left side, and then of course click on check for updates to receive all the available updates, which should include some new updates for the Notepad and also Paint apps. And I'm going to show you what's changed in the next couple of minutes. And now in the Notepad app, you're going to notice a few new features. For example, a new welcome page that you can also manually open by clicking on this button in the right side. And this basically explains to you what is new inside Notepad. And we also have some new formatting options. For example, strike through. So I'm going to type in here text-based, and select the text and then click on this button, or just use the keyboard combination Control-Shift+X. As you can see, I can use it to enable or disable this. So I think this is pretty useful as well. And we also have some new options for lists where we can create indented lists. And as an example, I'm going to create a bulleted list, tick, then based, and then I can click on this, increase indent, and it's going to increase the indent for this specific part. I can also type something again, for example, YouTube, and then I can either increase the indent or decrease the indent even more to create these bulleted lists. I think this is also a pretty useful feature. Related to the Paint app, you're going to notice that whenever you're using the fill option, you're going to have this new slider, which is the fill tolerance slider, which also allows you to control the tolerance of the filling that you're using inside the Paint app. Microsoft is also updating the Windows Update section in settings, and it now improves the responsiveness of this settings page, so it should be faster now. This update also improves the login screen reliability. Microsoft is not going in depth with what this means, but hopefully this means that we will no longer have certain issues such as the password field disappearing or anything like that. Microsoft has also improved the reliability of nearby sharing for whenever you are sending larger files, so I think that is also a pretty useful thing. This update also improves the reliability of displaying the project pane after pressing the Windows key +P. Also related to printing, this update improves the Windows print service to ensure smoother performance and prevent slowdowns during high volume printing. Related to File Explorer, we have a few new improvements. For example, whenever you are opening up a non-zip file, the extract all option will appear at the top here. Funnily enough, it didn't appear before. And Microsoft has also improved the reliability of displaying devices on the network page of File Explorer. And a fix related to File Explorer, holding Shift and clicking the File Explorer in the taskbar, or middle clicking, might open the current instance of File Explorer rather than another instance. So that is now fixed. So for example, we're going to notice that this should happen now. It's going to open a new instance. We also have some new display improvements. For example, made display related performance improvements to help reduce PC resume from sleep on heavy loaded systems and other scenarios. And also for laptops used with a docking station while the lid is closed, improve reliability of resuming from sleep when connecting to AC power without needing to open the laptop lid. And we also have some other fixes, addressed a few small visual issues, including when the taskbar was set to auto hide, with the Windows pop-up credential fields, and with the print dialog. I think this is quite a useful update, which not only brings in a few new features and also adds some new reliability improvements to the operating system. As I've said, more information about this will be in the article below or on the official Microsoft blog post if you're interested. This is the video for today. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBase channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. I was Emmanuel from TechBase. Until next time, have a nice day.